Look in my eyes for my mind state. I'm on the grind 25 days. Money on my mind, that's how I play. If you got it now, this what I say. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait.
Teasy, I forgot what episode number we on.
25, dog.
Hey, we're episode 25 of the Swerve City Podcast. What's going on? We got all of them up in here.
Hi.
We've got former friend, employee of the WWE, John Quasto in here. Yeah, I said it.
Former friend?
We ain't friends no more. But he brought water.
Right, I'm going to the closet.
Get in there.
Podcast right now, having so much fun.
She's having a blast.
She's
having so
much fun.
So much fun.
Hi.
We are living in some really interesting times right now. So what we need is community. What we need is our friends to gather together. Boom. And have some fun. Look at this graphic that Mike has set up for us. We got Indi Hartwell over there. Boom. Doing the damn thing.
That's her.
Amazing.
In the graphic
Boom.
or in there? It's
So
double Indi.
I'm going to go down the line and introduce y'all and reintroduce y'all to some of these guests. We have Indi Hartwell over here. Boom.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. We got returning guest Simone, the sister of the whole podcast right here.
Hi.
Little sis.
That's the OG.
That originally, yeah. And we have new guest to the podcast, the very special Jessi Kamea. Everybody, how's it going? What up?
Wow.
What up? Thank y'all for tuning in. Last episode, we had a very historic special one. A special guest, the dog, the homie, and it's very rightfully so, number 24. He is literally, in my opinion, the Kobe Bryant of the WWE. We had Kofi Kingston last episode. You can check that out on the youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast. Subscribe to that anytime. Look at that. We got a TV! A monitor!
It's real.
It's
real.
And once again, that's how you spell it.
Yeah.
Every episode I got to say that because I get that question every week. That's how you spell it.
And once again, before we even get into the nitty gritty, all the good stuff, we got to shout out the sponsor, the number one sponsor for the whole thing around Seattle. Thank you very much for providing us with all these nice toys, all these cool equipments, like this microphone right here and that one. He got all the microphones, actually. I ain't going to slide
What about this one?
He got that one, too.
No,
He got some busted ones that's in the closet over there, too. We don't use those anymore, but thank you for those. They just wore out. Man, we got these, the curtains, the banner. Not the table, I did that. But the lights.
He did the table, y'all. See the table?
Oh, man.
Even that light, or was that was you?
That was me. And Sai never wants to use it.
Because it's hot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so what? Yeah. Not much I like cost and the installation of it, brother. We gonna use this light.
Yeah, this was.
I don't care.
What are you trying to do? I'm flipping the camera.
We gonna use this damn light.
Good.
This light hot.
Bright light. Oh, look, it's my sister. Hi.
Which
My
one?
sister, Tasha.
Hi, Tasha.
And it's
That's Maya
Donald.
Lesnar.
Oh,
Hi,
so
Donald.
flip it around. Flip it
Where
around.
are they? Hello.
Afro Samurai, what's up? And then Tasha.
I'll wait.
Sorry, I know people on TV, so I get excited about that.
What
I know
you been up
guys.
to, Teasy?
Well,
Just the last.
This is amazing.
Well.
Thanks for having us.
all things considered, man, I've been good, man. I've just been living, chilling, man. I've been, we've been working. Obviously, if you follow the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast. We've been working, man. We working on a project. We're in album number 2 right now, so we're getting the beginnings of that. Shout out to my man Rich Lotta, who is the official producer for us now, homegrown producer. It's always good to have your own producer for your own project, so you ain't got to worry about all that other stuff that goes on in the industry. So yeah, shout out to him for joining us on the team, and he's currently producing the project. And outside of that, man, I'm just staying busy, staying working, been on my grind, exercising.
How's family, though?
Family good, man. Everybody's still healthy, bro. Everybody's still kicking.
All right.
No, ain't nobody, they're now with the Ronies running around.
Miss Rona.
But everybody's good. Everybody's doing good, man.
Somebody on here just mentioned something I should shout out. Rest in peace, Danny Havoc, CZW legend, OG, man. I've known him since 2010, and he just recently passed away. I'm still unsure on the reasons why. I have no further information on that. So if anybody want to say in the chat or whatever what happened, I would like to know. but I'm not going to say it out there. I just need to know. But RIP Danny Havoc, man. He had one of the craziest, best death matches in CZW's history. Multiple of them. Pioneer for the sport and the art. Wish I would have spent more time with you, talked with you more, but yeah, talking to him a lot in the locker rooms. He's groomed a lot of us, like me, Drake Younger, or Drake Warts, however you want to say his name, Adam Coles, Sammy Callahan's, AR Fox's. The list goes on and on about the people that he's groomed up and are doing big things nowadays. So shout out Danny Havoc, man. So, where do you think's a good point to start?
Well, I think we kind of just go with the obvious.
Yeah, elephant in the room.
They might as well just bring the elephant out now and just
Well, you had something to say about that. You had also like some solutions to
what's
going on in the climate today, current climate.
Well, obviously, in the wake of everything going on, first of all, we want to send our rest in peace to George Floyd and everything that has been going on. There is a lot that could be said. But
a lot that's already been said.
That's been said. There's a lot
look at that.
That has been said, obviously, on many other people's social media platforms. What's going on in the news each and every day, things of that nature. Whether you're peacefully protesting, whether you're staying at home, or whatever you feel like you're doing or contributing to this on a positive note. We definitely appreciate that, and I'm happy to see that a lot of people are coming together, even in wakes of everything that's going on with the times of this virus and this pandemic that we're in, that everybody is coming together. Obviously, as we were talking about the podcast, with solutions for everything that has been going on, before I pass it to our guests on their opinions. One thing I've been doing, I've been speaking to a councilman. His name is Darryl Moody out in Utica, New York. He is a councilman. He's part of the judicial systems up there. 25 years old, smart dude. He is a friend of the family. And basically what I've been doing is I've been talking to him, because with him being a councilman and involved somewhat in government, just seeing what options can be done. Very good dude. He hit me up. We've been talking privately about some things that I can personally do from here that, either with my voice or financial resources or whoever I know, to be able to make a difference. So being able to talk to him and get educated on a lot of things, on my laws, a lot of things that I did not know offhand. He's actually not only helping me with that, but coming up with positive solutions for the situation. If you look out on my social media pretty soon at Monteasy Scott, there's going to be some things I'm going to be putting out on Twitter in conjunction with him on solutions on things that we could do, so we can kind of play the long game and then start attacking start going to the judicial system and the courts rooms as well, because that's also part of this that has to be done. So that's part of me on working on the solution.
Yeah, and we had a couple of our guests this evening that were actually downtown protesting.
Yeah.
So I'd like your opinion on that, what you saw.
Indy and I went downtown yesterday, and for me, something that has been really interesting is, obviously, Indy came from Australia, and we've talked about this, the whole idea of police brutality isn't really a big thing over there, so it's been interesting to see, just how she's handled all of this and her opinions on all of this. But yesterday we went downtown, and it was really moving to see so many people, like what Teasy said, coming together, trying to make light of the situation, but trying to just be a positive change. And also going off of what Teasy said, I think the biggest way that anybody can use their voice, if you can, please vote. That is a big thing. Please vote in November. It'll mean a lot, and I think if you want to make a big change, that is absolutely the biggest way.
I've heard a lot of things like fill out your census, so
yes,
the government knows who you are.
Yeah. Fill out your census, vote, sign petitions, and if you can, please donate.
Get informed as much as you can, because one of the things he was talking about, telling me earlier, we need to know who's doing what with our cities, with our states, and stuff like that.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, we need to know. You need to be informed. You need to know who's out there. You need to know who is over us. I need to be more informed too, because I always end up finding out things late, and I'm tired of being late to the party on a lot of these issues. Tired of being one step behind, and we need to be several steps ahead, especially for our culture.
Yeah.
Got to be several steps ahead on these things, man. So, how's this influencing your take on not just the society, in general.
Put this down.
Yeah, do what you gotta do, honey.
It's facing you.
Oh.
Good view. Well, I made a post the other day on Twitter and Instagram. If anyone follows me on that, they would have seen. And I think it took me a while to write it because I think, like many other foreigners who live in the United States, we're scared to speak up on issues that we don't know about,
Right.
that we're not educated on. But then I realized that was the problem. I'm not educated on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make an effort to educate myself and, you know, speak up for those who can't speak up anymore because they were victims of police brutality. And I believe, in my opinion, that not speaking up is standing with the oppressor. And I have to thank Simone heaps for teaching me, educating me, and helping me understand the severity because, like she said, I'm from the other side of the world and this wasn't really a huge thought in my mind because I didn't understand how serious it was. But living here for 9 months now, like, we hear about it every day, the injustices, like what happened to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Philando Castile, and the list goes on, unfortunately. But I just wanted to share that I'm actively trying to educate myself and doing whatever I can. And I just wanted to let everyone know that, like, I know I will never be able to understand what people of color face, but I wanted to let them know that I stand with them.
And that's all we can ask for. It's not like pushing people. It's just like understanding it's the best thing for you to do.
And
to
educating yourself. That's such a big thing.
Yeah.
That's what I encourage people to do. And
because that's why people are scared to speak up, because they're scared that, like, they'll say the wrong thing.
Yeah,
But if you
don't
educate
want
yourself,
you don't want that. You don't want like I wouldn't want to insult somebody else's culture with not knowing.
Also, too, though, one thing to add on to her point, one thing we also spoke about too, privately, which I will mention on here is, you know, whether you quote Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Nina Simone, a lot of people who are predominant, you know, black culture figures in this culture. But one thing I want to make pointed, though, to anyone out there who's watching this is that there cannot be any change without sacrifice. This is to the top of the people of the top tax bracket to the bottom. We are quick to quote these people. We are quick to do this stuff, but we are not quick to go through the sacrifice that has to be taken to make a change. Something will have to be sacrificed. Now, we will see what that is. Whether it's sacrifice could be taking your time to learn the judicial system and learn your rights. That could be considered a sacrifice. A lot of people don't.
It could be your position.
It could be your position, right. So that could be considered a sacrifice. But with everyone that we are quick to quote or post about or speak on that were predominant figures, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, many people like that, there also was a sacrifice that they all gave. And with something, they might have lost something or in a sense of, you know, some fandom or, you know, support from certain support groups.
Hurt their notoriety for
what they stood for. But the last thing I want to point before I get Jessi's point on this is just be prepared to be able to sacrifice something. Because something is going to have to be sacrificed. And in order to make that change. And I believe as long as we're willing to do that and understand what might come with that, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, so more on Jessi, what are your thoughts on
I mean, so much. I think I'm just going to start with, one, like, it's kind of strange for me to, it feels so weird and surreal to be having, like, a movement such as this happen again when already in the past, like, not too long ago, there was already, like, the civil rights movement and, like, there were already marches and things. And, like, in my world, in the bubble that, like, I feel like it's a bubble now because, like, my mom and dad did, like, everything they could to raise me, like, to just love everybody and to not see skin color, but see character and see, like, how people carry themselves and to, like, decide whether or not, like, okay, is this what I want, like, my energy to be around and is this a good influence? And to have this still go on and stuff, and it's in my face more than ever, and I'm really disappointed. I'm upset. I felt like I was in this bubble, like, whew, like, like, if I feel like the world's a really good place, then it must be around me, but it's totally not. And, like, I think it's easy for people to just turn a blind eye and be like, oh, well, that's not my problem and that's not around me. But the truth is like, it's going to be here. Like, it's here today. It was here yesterday. And it's going to be here tomorrow unless like everybody pulls together. Like, we're seeing places from all over the world, like New Zealand, like over in Europe and China, like people are also protesting. Like this is, I mean, I'm going to say it, like this is murder. And the fact that it took that long, like I think it was a week for some sort of accountability to happen. It's just kind of like, okay. And like, I saw my sister post, something. She was like, Boston Tea Party back in like 18 whatever, like it was just a protest over a tea tax and it was like, oh, okay. And like, now that we're protesting about somebody's life, it almost feels like police brutality is escalating, and it shouldn't be. Like, we should have already learned from the past. Like, that's why history is there for us, like, so we learn.
Doomed to repeat itself.
That's what I have. So that's.
Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts and your emotions about it. It's not easy to talk about this kind of stuff, but this is why we're here. We're here to talk about like what we can do. I'm tired of pointing fingers and placing blame. We already know what that is. You can go on social media. You can once again get informed and start looking at the news, checking out all the media platforms to find out more information about it. But solutions on this thing is like going to donate to this cause, man. Sign petitions. You know, there's tons of them out there, and there's like long lists of things to get things rolling in the right direction to make changes. And you hit the table.
That's your fault. And please educate yourself. Like I cannot
Yes.
stress this enough.
Learn
Please
these names.
educate yourself.
Learn these people.
Please educate yourself on the history of oppression of people of color in this country, and please vote. Please vote in November.
Yes, I'm just glad we have people that can influence everybody, like your fan base, all our fan bases, where they're influenced by us. So just us being aware lets them know something. Lets them find out about things. Like if they didn't know how to register to donate anything, or to register to vote, or register to sign petitions, we retweet it. Oh, I'm a fan of you. I see it now. That gets the next person to do it. That gets the next person to chain it. It's just a chain link of things. And it's important. What's going on over here?
Wow.
All right. Anyway, we're going to move on to the fun stuff. We're going to get things started with the show and have some smiles now. But
We're gonna have fun. But remember to vote.
But remember to vote. Big
If you
thing.
can vote.
Vote.
If you can vote.
Please vote.
But the only way you're going to have fun with us is if you
That's right. That's where let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead.
And subscribe to the Swerve City Podcast, youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast, to watch the rest of this interview, watch the rest of the fun we're going to have. We're going to put some funny, silly things up on the screen, and we're going to joke with,
People are saying that you look like young Snoop Dogg. A lot of people are saying that.
I can see it. What?
Just wanted to mention that.
I put braids in my hair, now I'm Snoop.
No one told me that.
I got that like 10 times.
I've been told Bow Wow before. When I was a kid, I was told
I just wanted
Nick Cannon.
to say that.
I don't really see Nick Cannon. No.
But you see Snoop.
I mean,
I don't see none of it, but
maybe.
I ain't no
Oh,
hater.
come on, man. I see the jersey he wearing. Yeah, I see him.
Now, see, I look like him.
He look like Marshall.
I look like Marshall, but nah.
But
nah.
anyway,
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
yeah, they're gonna crack on me some more and tell me some other rappers and celebrities that I look like. I made one album and I look like every rapper under the sun.
You look like Future. You look like.
Yep.
Which one?
I look like
Did
J.I.D.
you like Lil Skies, or did someone else here like
No,
Lil
that was all
Skies?
him. That was all him.
Which one of you liked Lil Skies?
That was all Swerve.
Do you still?
I'm pointing on that one.
Yes, I do. Anyway, we're gonna hop off here and we're gonna get the real show started. So
All right, y'all.
subscribe.
Subscribe, peace.
Hi guys, thank you.
Love,
Yeah.
peace, love, subscribe, all that.
420 Wrestling, what up?
Salute, peace.
And make sure you share it to the IGTV if you want. Boom. I'm doing it. Oh, hit next. Yep, post. I'm not even gonna give it a title. They're making me give it a title. This is new. Yo, why is IG updating? What's happening here?
Sweating.
Other things are updating.
Yeah.
No, you
That's the
sweat
thing.
all the
So
time.
the they can track us. That's why. The they.
You funny?
The AI.
Ooh.
They're getting
Nothing
smarter.
will do.
Talk, Jessi, talk.
They are.
You went in.
This was good. Now we go to the
Everybody
funs.
did. Everybody
Okay.
had positive
Y'all do so well. I'm so proud of all of y'all. So now we're gonna go into the newest guest of the episode. We got Miss Indi Hartwell.
Samantha D's nuts.
Sure. Yeah. You know I'm gonna eat
Well, let me drink some more. There's gonna be an episode here.
It's one of those days.
All right.
All right.
You gonna finish or
how
how
this works.
Nope,
Do
it
you
fell on
know
the
how
floor.
this
Rona. Anyway, moving on. So,
How do I check the whole thing? Because when you go off of your screen for a second,
I'm trying to do a show.
I'm sorry. It's a great show.
She's like, how I pay my phone bill?
Okay, so
Moving on.
anyways,
Miss Indi Hartwell. You moved over here from Australia. What part of Australia you from?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay. What was
Melbourne.
Melbourne? What? Warren? What? How am I saying it?
Melbourne.
Melbourne?
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
M-E-L-B-I-N?
You don't know. You spell it Melbourne. Melbourne.
Mhm.
But we say Melbourne.
Okay, I got you.
I don't like it. Anyway.
So you guys read different too.
Yeah, we just
Where
we
was,
make our own rules.
where was Rhea Ripley from?
Adelaide.
Adelaide. How far is that from each other?
It's like a 1 hour flight. I think it's like an 8 hour drive, maybe.
Oh.
how
So it's
does that equate?
I
Like
don't
a
know.
1 hour flight is an 8 hour drive.
Maybe it's not 8 hours.
It's not a straight
Maybe
drive. It's like this then.
Are you from Australia?
Maybe it's a 50
I'm
minute.
just guessing.
Maybe it's a
It's
40-minute
symbolic.
flight.
Oh.
It's a long drive.
Right. Okay. And you don't know Rhea from. This is your first time meeting her here, right?
No,
Right,
no,
have y'all-
we
y'all
know
go
each
way-
other.
A
Yeah.
lot of y'all go way back, right?
We met when we were meeting WWE superstars at the airport in like 2012.
Oh, you were one of them.
We
Ooh.
didn't know any better.
What got you inspired in pro wrestling in the first place?
I just
watching
grew,
it and stuff.
Grew up watching it. My brother kind of got me into it because he was watching it, and like I feel like siblings always want to do what their older sibling is doing.
Very true.
So I was like, my brother's watching this, I want to watch it, and then I got hooked, and then he stopped watching it because like he grew out of it, like most people do, but I just never did. And then, yeah, it's
Who
like,
are your favorites?
Jeff Hardy, John Cena, Trish Stratus. So I started watching in like 2005, I think.
You had some.
Nothing. Shout out to Trish. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Keep going.
No, you keep going. Continue on.
So, yeah. So I mean, how has the transition been from going from Australia to here? Like, how's any cultural differences? Tell me a little bit about
There's
the culture
been
differences.
heaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Driving on the other side of the road.
I promise we're nice.
No, everyone's nice, but I had to learn to drive on the other side of the road and sit on the other side of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Other things like just learning the currency, I guess. It's like the conversion rate's much different. Going to Subway, I have to change how I say things. For example, I say tomato, but here I have to say tomato, or they
Yes,
won't
you do.
understand me.
You will not get a sandwich.
What do you guys call
I like that it's specifically Subway.
Pillow.
or Publix?
Specifically Subway.
Sponsor?
Talk about this day.
Ooh.
I was really sweating under there.
You're sweating now.
Yeah. It's hot in here.
It's hot in here.
Shout out to the lights.
Yeah.
This
You
light
better
right
shout
here.
out these lights.
What's that interrogation
That's
like?
a
Well, you
nice
gonna snitch? You sit
picture.
over there.
With
Yeah.
Takashi. Anyway.
It's my favorite photo in the world.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I feel like it's if this is your dream, that's like the photo that you dream about. Like, I dreamt about this day for a long time, and then finally I got it. I was at the PC for 2 months before this, and I
remember that.
I had to keep it quiet.
Yeah.
And then finally I got this, so then I was like, I can put it out to the world.
So how did that correlation go from like before this, like your wrestling background in Australia? What was your wrestling background back in your home country?
My wrestling background?
Yes, from back then. You
You're
just
doing independence.
Yeah, I was just wrestling
Right.
on the indies for 3 years before this.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that feeling, knowing that you made it, what is like that you're here and you're like, hey, you got this moment, you got this picture. What goals are you trying to obtain now? Now that you got this, 'cause a lot of people get here and then they're like,
Yeah. Well, first I thought I was going to feel like that. I thought it was just going to be like relief. I'm here now, all is good, but like this is where all the hard work starts, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's scary, but I'm like so grateful that I'm here and I'm like ready to work hard.
We talk about the same kind of thing with we had Austin Theory here, achieving a lot of big things at a young age. It's hard to top that year after year after year. So like you see this, you're like, oh, this is a huge accomplishment at such a young age. It's like, oh my God, that's like in like the amount of time you spend on the independence and stuff like that. Like that's only 3 years. It's like, where do you go from here? Like there's a ton of where you can go, but for you in the climate we're in now, where do you feel like you go from this?
I know comparing yourself to other people is
It's easy to get into that.
Yeah, but like I like to look at Rhea as like an example of someone that I want to follow, because her and I are actually the same age, but she got here quicker than I did. Although she put in the hard yards before, she wrestled for like 4 or 5 years. But she's 23 and she's achieved so much. Like she's already been NXT UK Women's Champ, NXT Women's Champ, and I haven't done any of that yet.
Oh, don't worry. When I talk to her, I'm gonna ask her the same thing. Where you go from here?
Sure.
Yeah, like
there's heaps you can do. But yeah, I just like look to her and definitely look at the other Australians as well.
Yeah, you're inspiring a lot of people from your country. Same way with we talked with Killian Dane.
Absolutely,
being, like, one of the few Irish-born people to like come over here and like because Finley inspired him.
Absolutely,
he was like the one that made it at that time period, so he inspired the rest of the country to like be like when the next one's coming up. So
absolutely.
Now, Jessi,
Cool.
talk about your voyage into the WWE Performance Center because you made it here before all of us.
So
she's the OG.
She is.
OG of the
I don't
PC.
know about OG. It was totally random. I was doing door-to-door sales. I was kind of like this walking commercial that nobody wants to see show up at their work. And unannounced, selling you stuff that you don't need, like anything. Well,
what were you selling?
You do need them. I sold anything from like spa packages, baseball or basketball tickets, zoo packages,
everything,
makeup.
You need to go to the zoo.
So it was like it was 100% commission. So if I didn't hustle and sling it, I didn't eat. So and that was hard. I definitely like had to borrow some money from like some relatives and like truly really thankful for that. But yeah, I was kind of like at wit's end with it because I just hated it. I hated it so much because well, one, I had never been told so many times so often in my life. So it was almost like I had to readjust my attitude before I walked into any door for the next sale because they could feel it when you're negative. Like energy's a real thing. And then I walked into the right door. It was a bagel shop. Someone who was connected to WWE heard my pitch and they approached me. Now, they didn't approach me like, hi, I'm from WWE. Come and have a tryout, stranger. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was just more like he approached me as a sports trainer. So I started to train with him just from, like conditioning, working out. I later found out that he was a 3-time world champion in amateur wrestling. And I don't know, right place, right time. And he beat me up every single day, like with a workout. And I had never cried. I'd never thrown up during a workout before him. And then he was like, hey, there's a tryout coming up. You should try out. I know some people. So did the tryout. It was so freaking awesome. I remember watching my first wrestling match like live there from like other people like Ruby Riott was there, Shayna Baszler was there, and I just remember being terrified. Like, what am I doing here? Like, and amazed at the same time. Like, it was just so cool how acrobatic people were and how like I'd never been around that kind of environment. So like after the tryout, I was all in. Like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Did you train in a pro wrestling ring before the tryout?
No.
That was your first time?
No, I was just like, so up before the tryout, like those mats that you see like at elementary schools or like just mats?
Oh yeah, gym mats.
Like
I would
gymnastics
do
mats?
Yeah, like just this itty bitty square, probably like half the size of this room. JJ, his name's James Johnson. He's the guy that recruited me. He, he's worked with like ASU and like other amateur wrestling folks. I know Nico has worked with him, and so is Tucker from Heavy Machinery. But he would just make me do like 300 rolls a day. He was like forward roll.
You got that Stu Hart dungeon training.
Like just, no, that's literally what he called his space. Like it was just a regular space, and just a lot of hard work. So yeah, it was cool.
But I like that. That builds, boy. Nobody gets that anymore.
That's how I came up in music.
I
Do
love
it again. Record it again.
Do it again.
Record it again.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love people that have that story, that just go through like being told no over and over again. Almost going broke. Almost have nothing to eat. Ramen noodles every night.
Yes,
I love
Lord.
to hear that.
Eating nothing but wax.
How many movies have we seen like this?
Mainly every one they make now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Come up story, man. You did some people, everybody's story is different. Like compared to her story, like everybody's story is different on how they get to their destination.
These are 3 different destinations in itself.
Absolutely. And you just see everybody's story on how they got there. Like my story, as people know, has been like hers, just music, doing it over again, having a mentor, somebody telling you do it over again, do it over again. Do it over again, but you look at everybody's journey, and I appreciate the journey that I had to take to even be here right now, interviewing these wonderful guests. So I know how it is, and it's a struggle, man.
Yeah.
Well, talk about your sports background.
So I played any sport I could growing up. I wasn't good at all of them, but I really aspired and found kind of like my stride in volleyball. So. Through high school, I traveled for a club team. We did pretty well. And yeah, that was fun. I got to travel a lot from it, but right now, and I remember getting teased like from other coaches and stuff, like volleyball is not like a real sport. Like you're in wrestling now. And like at the time I was just
How?
like, where'd you get that? Oh,
the
gosh.
Mike, the GOAT, the hacker, the Oracle.
But yeah, that takes me back.
All right.
So that year I was the only senior on that team. There was actually there were 2 of us. The other one was the libero. But yeah, I played front row. I could not dig in the back row. Like I just kind of started to believe like I just belong in the front row. I love jumping and stuff. So I still jump. I just love it. That's all I got. I was just like,
according to that height you was jumping,
The process of leaving.
according to that height that you was jumping right
fly.
there, that height that you jumping right there, you'd have been like, yeah, I scored every point. I was the best. Yep, I did it.
Yeah, you can run with that. And just get that photo, just run with that.
No.
I was like, oh, gee.
Definitely fun. So like the tape right there, I remember that too. I remember I misjudged the block and stuff from this other game we were in, and you're supposed to seal the net and stuff, like just kind of roof it. But I misjudged the height of this girl, how high she can jump. So the ball went like directly here. I'm like, when you hit the ball, you're supposed to be like, rah, everything you got. And she did, and it hurt. But then I just play the next game.
My son. See, yeah.
Wow.
I was a physical sport person. I had to like be contact with people. I was any sport with a stick. I was terrible at because my depth perception is bad. I'd be like, whoop, strike. Tennis, like, out.
Tennis would be fun. We got a tennis player in the room.
I'm not a tennis player.
But you
I
love
play
it.
tennis.
Come
You're a
and
person that
play
plays
with
tennis.
I
me.
play tennis for fun in the summer.
But you play tennis.
No, I've never played like.
What have
properly.
you played a game of tennis?
Yeah, everyone's
You are
played
3
tennis,
steps
so-
above everybody else in
I'm-
here.
You know,
Yeah.
play tennis.
Yeah.
With those accomplishments.
I have
Facts.
that depth
Well,
perception like
Jess
him.
and I are gonna have a tournament.
Golf.
Right?
Dude,
Don't
just
get
the
me
racket.
started.
Yeah, I gotta buy
Just
one.
get the racket. Dude, it's on.
Yeah,
'cause,
please
like,
buy the tennis racket.
Okay.
We've asked
Dude.
you for months.
Are you gonna play or?
No, I'm gonna watch.
We might film it for content.
Dude, I don't know what it is like about like competition in sports, but I just feel alive. Like,
Let's do it.
See,
play.
here's the difference. You're in competition with yourself. She in competition with everything.
Everybody.
All of it.
That's that Jordan mind, boy.
Bruh.
You will not beat me at flipping these papers.
Like, you're not supposed to bring a table. Flash me. So, Simone, last time you were here.
He has one rule: don't touch the table.
I just gave him a migraine in his headphones.
Nope, yeah, now you're like, don't you go there.
Oh, I might give you a raise this week. Anyway, Simone, since the last time you were here,
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Good.
we discussed a lot about what was about to be taken on part 2 of what was going to be going on. We couldn't talk about it on the show, even though I blurted it out. Ugh. But now we can openly speak about Simone has been signed to the WWE. She's in the Performance Center. She was already in the Performance Center for a very long time. She's a veteran of more vet of the performance center than I am.
So,
Than you are.
Yeah.
So
And this podcast, she hosted before, bro.
pretty much, she held it down.
She hold it down better, man. She go.
I don't know why I'm here.
we miss you, Ariel, so much.
We need that.
you.
We need that. We need that.
We miss you.
Something ain't hitting right. But the show goes on. Talk about being in the performance center. Yeah.
So it would have been like almost a year, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was supposed to go to NYU in August in New York.
I remember this.
And then at the very end of July, I blew my knee out completely.
I remember this.
Yeah, and it sucked, but in a way it made me like rethink everything that I
What was going on in Marbles?
in the a lot. But what I'm saying is
Everything.
a lot. Why are you looking like that?
Po thing, po tink tink. I want to know what's going on in the mind.
Oh, I'm sweating. Anyways.
I swear the thing's on 49 degrees.
It's light on 130.
Oh gosh. Okay, so
That's how much it costs too.
sorry, sis. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Inside jokes.
okay. So after
Professional face.
I hurt my knee, I was like, all right, I think I don't want to go to New York anymore, and I wanted to stay in Orlando because almost a year ago tomorrow, June 2nd, would have been a year since I moved up here, and it was the happiest that I had ever been. I loved wrestling. I loved the people that I was around. You weren't here yet. It's okay. But I remember, I vividly remember, it was a couple days after I'd hurt myself. I was at home, lying in bed, and I remember, my mom came in, and she was like, I don't remember why she came in, probably to be, ice your knee or something, but I remember telling her and being like, I don't think I want to go to New York anymore. I think I want to attend college in Orlando and keep training once I'm able to again. And my mom means everything to me. She's my favorite person in the world. And I just remember, her first reaction was just okay, we're going to make it work. And I can say that throughout all of this, she has been the most supportive person. And I know now I'm on a tangent and I don't remember the thing that you originally asked me.
I said performance center, but talk about your mama.
Okay, so.
And on a side note, I think it's funny, you didn't choose New York, because look at New York now. So.
Corona?
Yeah. It's not looking
Yeah,
good.
things would be way different.
That's what I'm saying. I'm you follow that hard. You got to follow your
Everything
gut.
happens for a reason.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have met you.
That's true.
That's true.
Yo, everything happens for
It
a reason.
does.
How many
It
times
does.
were the split in the road and you just your
Yeah.
gut is telling you this.
Yes. 100%.
Even though okay, yeah, you could do this and you could that's not a bad choice. It's a safe one.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can just follow along.
Yeah.
But some about your gut and your feelings is telling you to do this.
So
And you end up following that.
If you went to New York, you wouldn't be wrestling.
I don't think I would have gotten signed
Yeah.
Nope.
if I went to New York, yeah.
But you didn't have a bad path. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just
It's
okay,
different.
yeah, but looking back, you. thank
So
goodness you
in the
went
way,
here.
not going to New York was probably the best decision that I've made. So I didn't end
You
up going
avoid
to
a
New
lot of
York.
parking tickets.
We're happy you
Exactly.
stayed.
I stayed. I signed my contract in December. It was
Yay!
I was really sweating there too.
Yeah, why do they
So
do
we're
great
still talking
t-shirts?
about sweating.
There's a lot of light shining too. I know you'd be hot, man.
Every time I look
Yeah,
at
because
that
they have
picture,
these lights and the grey shirt.
Now, yeah.
every time I look at that picture, I still can't believe
Every
that it's
time I-
real. Because if you would have told 9-10-year-old me that was gonna be her in 8 years,
No.
I wouldn't have been able to comprehend that. And I still every single time that I watch Raw or I watch SmackDown or NXT, I obviously look at it different now that I work for the company, but I still have that kid inside of me that's
What are
Definitely.
some things that feel like different now that you're on the other side? Like you have that contract, you're an official employee.
I think
Compared to
now
before.
it's like so much so like watching and being like, oh, like that's amazing. It's wrestling being like, okay, what can I learn from this match? What can I learn from this person? How do all these different things tie in? Probably more so stuff like that.
Okay. Now we're gonna go into little side hobbies from what I see on your social media, because I'll look at her social media and I see your social media. I look at yours and see hers. Y'all cook a lot.
I cook a
She
lot.
cooks.
Okay.
I eat it. Sam eats it.
No, it's funny because like it's funny. I'll be like, oh, look what Sam made. Okay, she's holding it down, and then now I'm finding out it's
I never
Yeah.
claimed
you
that I
ghostwriting
made
the
it.
food.
She never
Copyright
I
infringement.
Yeah,
I
right.
never claim that she cooked it.
I
She
never
tags
say
me
that-
every time.
I always say that she makes it.
So side hobbies.
A couple of them desserts, and y'all diets be crazy. I'm like, hold up, y'all had like 4 cookie brownie cakes. What do y'all like to cook?
I wish.
I will cook every probably.
Your heart can't handle that.
Not anymore.
Skillet nachos.
Quarantine has turned me into Aunt Jemima or something.
Betty Crocker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them. Martha,
All of
I
them?
think she decorates houses. No. Who's the Paula Dean?
What's
She's
the
the
one that your
Paula
mom
Dean.
says?
No, but my mom says Martha
Are we
Stewart because my
canceling
mom
Paula
wants
Deen
to
yet?
decorate. Oh yeah.
She been.
Yeah, we got her out of here, right? Yeah.
Canceled.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
She out of there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jamar Adams, that's his name. All right. Hey, what's
Who?
up?
Paula
Shout out
Dean.
to Jamar Adams.
Jamar, what up? Thank you for picking
Hey,
up.
Jamar.
That's the 80s, 90s vibes page guy.
Oh, that is?
Oh,
yeah.
what
I told you I got you, big. I got you, dog. I got you.
Yeah, he be reposting, showing love.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
him.
He's
that's
on
it.
Discord, so,
He's on the Discord?
Yeah, so I'll
Shout out Jamal. Salute to you,
You
dog.
get a shirt, my brother.
You get
Yes,
a shirt.
you get a shirt.
get a shirt.
You get a shirt.
What are we talking about? Cooking, right?
It was cooking. Yeah. So quarantine has turned me into not Paula Dean.
A chef.
A
Just
chef.
say your name, sure. Continue.
Okay. We're talking about side hobbies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
word.
Cooking.
Sure.
Yeah. Flip that. Yeah. What else you been doing?
That was the original
I started horseback riding again, which is really random. But I used to do it all the time for like 9 years when I was a kid. And then I stopped. And now Aaliyah has started going again. So
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
I went
She
with her one
convinced
time.
me to
Yeah.
go. And
I'm scared of
she
horses.
started
Did
doing
you
it.
watch Aaliyah?
I went with her.
They went.
It was
on-
so
they went
fun
on
and
Dante.
terrifying.
Maybe I need to
Wait,
do
did
this.
you ride or watch?
I never rode a horse. You ever want to ride a horse?
She's never.
I want to
going.
do that.
Awesome.
You should do it.
Like,
It's
I
I want
fun.
to try that.
Yeah, I want to
You
get my
just
Red
gotta-
Dead Redemption on.
Just gotta
Yeah.
get over it.
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
It was
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Just gotta
Let's
try
do
it.
That sounds kind of fire. Low key.
how
Yeah,
you
Arthur
did it.
Morgan. Yeah. I want to get my joint on. Like, I'm scared of horses, though. Something about them.
Just walk
just
behind them
gotta-
so they don't kick you.
How'd you pick that
See,
hobby?
that's what scares
Don't
me.
you have to
I-
like touch them the whole time to make sure?
My mom did
I don't
it,
know.
and so did my aunt, and then they got me into it, and I was like 5 years old, and
Right.
then like I literally cannot remember a time in my life when I didn't know how to ride a horse. Yeah, it's weird.
That's what's up, though. That's a great hobby. That's
Don't look
unique.
at me like that.
Is it true that you kick them in the side when you want to go faster, or is that on
You
That
don't like
spurs things?
That's a good question.
You spur 'em?
like aggressively beat them,
Or you just a little like, hey.
but just
let's
like
get
a
it
little
going?
like a tap. Yeah.
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 I'm sorry.
Awesome. Yeah. So
More questions? You have?
yeah, I don't know. It's just,
No, I'm curious.
Do you do the thing where you like jump over stuff with them? How do you do that?
I don't know about all that, cuz.
Like, who knows?
I've never trained a horse from a baby horse to jump, but
But you have to like the horse has to feel it, right? Like the horse has to like, oh, edge coming.
yeah, but like they can see it
Oh, okay.
and they know to jump over it.
Okay, so.
That's actually really like I had always wondered that like
do
I'm saying like I've never like trained a horse or seen someone train a horse from like small horse never been ridden to then get them comfortable to jump and stuff.
Do you need a saddle to ride it?
It's recommended.
Recommended, but it's not necessary.
I mean,
I was
unless
watching
you're
Django.
riding
He just
bareback.
bareback the horse and was taking
Oh,
off.
that's hard.
Yeah, he was like speeding off too.
I would recommend a saddle for you. I think
Right.
for most people. should
Okay.
use a
Are you,
saddle.
are you planning?
Usually don't.
I would like to. I would like to like crack that
It's
fear.
an experience.
Right.
I think everyone should try it.
We're gonna ride a horse, bro.
I'm down, dog. It's something.
What kind of steed should we be? Like a stallion or
What about like short people?
Mustang?
What about like people that are like 5 foot like me,
what
bro?
about,
Like, what
we
about
need
what
to
can
know
I
these
do?
things.
You know what I mean? Because I'm good. Like, yeah, you can't climb up here. You're too short.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, I walk up in the stable and pick a donkey. I'm like, yeah, I want this one. Like, no.
Oh, you good, bro? You can step right over me. They got to give me a ladder. Man, come on, cuz. I'll do it though. I'll do it.
You guys should try it.
I'm down.
I'm scared.
On this day.
And bring Sam with you because
First,
she's never ridden a horse either.
Scared.
You haven't done it?
Never.
Help us out.
Okay.
I'm worried.
Come ride with me and
Where? I don't know where to at. I got no information.
I'll give you the address.
Thank
We'll
you.
go.
Yeah, give them some business. Watch podcasts. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
They support. They like wrestling. They're very interested in me and new wrestling. Yeah.
I said Scott on the ranch.
Now, is this like, for rides? Like, is this per ride? How does the budget go? You know what I mean? I'm not in everybody's tax bracket. Certain people tax brackets in this room.
It's per ride.
It's per ride.
What?
What'd you say? But like, what is the cost? Like, how do you?
All right, if you gotta do that, that means this is not your hobby. You gotta
That's like golf. I want to pick up golf,
right?
but that's too expensive.
Is golf expensive?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, very.
Baseball and golf are expensive.
And hockey.
And horseback.
Well,
Hockey
are
too.
you just saying because of the equipment you need, or like to actually
Yeah.
go somewhere, like to wherever you?
Right, I was just figuring like how would they do that? Like they just charge you like you go around like a horse with a horse.
You have like a 1 hour
That is a
session.
good.
Or like
that
a
is
left.
point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just ask it.
3
I didn't
laps,
know.
$300. Like, wait, what? You trying to stop the horse? Stop! I got enough.
Is that-
All right, there's the bar. Go.
I went half a crescent, so that's 75, right? What is your hobby, Jessi?
I like to build stuff and do art things.
Art things.
Yeah.
Describe art things. Do you sculpt?
No, I don't sculpt. I would if I had it.
You
Like,
should start sculpting.
I will look into that.
That'd be fun.
You need to keep on your life, man. You
Things
keep
I
you
would
adventurous. That's what I'm
sculpt.
talking about.
Yeah. Y'all need some.
You can. Let's
Sculpt,
start
like, out of
sculpting
what?
for fun. We can just
All right, let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, make something for Burning Man next year or something.
just
I don't
like
know.
No,
but
okay.
like we don't look it up. We just figure it out.
No, I love that. That's what I'm doing with this table I'm building right now. I don't know how to build a table, but I'm building it. Yeah.
I've seen said
I
table.
got it.
It's on its way.
It's on its way.
It's on its way. So
It's-
I was
yeah.
like
It's good.
almost done. I almost wish I like showed you guys. Sure.
Can we insert it in the podcast?
Yeah, send it to Mike.
Jessi's
Can
table.
insert it.
Yeah.
It's a project.
Trust me, Mike will find it.
It's Ha!
Magic Mike.
Do you see that? Do you see this?
She making a table.
I'm making
By
a
the time we get that
It's from
photo
scratch.
to that computer to that screen, we gonna be on to talking about something else.
I'm saying just like insert it just in the middle of the podcast.
Or like flash it on the
He's
screen.
done.
Yeah,
He
you
can
know, like table.
He can do it.
But I'll send you a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's a process right now. I'm like trying to start this YouTube channel where I make stuff, and it's just been like
See,
this
now
forever
here-
thing.
You need
That's-
tips and hits on YouTube channel creating.
I do.
You have a whole coalition of creators right here and media people. What is your idea?
So I kind of want to I just want to build things and create things because the whole idea behind it is like, my mom would say when I was younger, like, if you're bored, it means you're not being creative. So like every time I feel like I'm not like making something or doing something with myself, I'm like, okay, I must not be creative and I have to be creative. Like, I love the way that sounds. That's like, must create. So it's meant to inspire other people like, hey, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like learning something new today, I'm going to find and figure out the answer. And like, hey, maybe it's not going to be perfect, but I made it and I'm going to be proud of that. Plus, I like working with my hands.
That's content right there. And like I feel like with creating content, you got to find like pretty much the general 100% nucleus base of whatever the idea is. And naturally, like ideas in our minds and anybody's minds, it has to grow organically. So literally, how this podcast started, it was an idea of two dudes talking about anything but wrestling, but combining the world of wrestling and music together. That's just the general idea and the nucleus. Then things sprout off of that. And that's what I think should work for you. So that's a great concept. I think that's a great concept. How's she going? Now help her.
It's finally up. Please watch it.
Now help her with the, like, Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sam can help me build stuff. So this
Yes.
is how Sam and I really connected.
We
both talk
bond
tools.
over tools.
Yes.
Like our toolkits.
Y'all too.
They saw you got your YouTube channel down.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
What are we waiting on? Come on. What are we waiting
Bob
on?
the Builder, Handy Mandy. Handy Sandy.
Handy Manny.
And then you got the chef over here. That's all the other parts of the content to build a YouTube channel. Then
That's
you
three
just-
different things in one
Boom.
channel. That's
And if
three
you
different
need,
things.
and I will rent out my cast to people because they're mine.
Oh, he goes.
I'll rent the Swerve City Podcast.
Oh my
Rent. Yeah.
Wait,
That would be.
that
super
means
fun.
you would take a cut. Nah, we can do this individually.
So I don't get a percentage. I don't get no percentage on the clientele I bring y'all.
Hey,
I brought you Kofi.
that's true.
Exactly.
I'm talking about
We all eating.
All of us.
We all eating.
Right.
All of us individually. Side one day. But anyway, we are doing something good. So I think from what you have.
One second though.
Oh, what happened?
One second though. You got something else you can add. Well, tell us about the art. What you gonna put on the channel with your art though?
Oh, the art. So right now I'm into spray painting things because it's quick and easy for me. I used to like sit down in front of a canvas like I'm gonna make this masterpiece and stuff, but then it would just take forever, and then I would put it down, and then it would just get left there. And I've had things from like over 12 years ago that are still like kind of on the floor in my stack of canvases that I'm not working on. So I just want something that I can make, and so it's done, and I can put it on the wall. So I spray painted something the other night too. I should have sent you guys stuff before, but anyways, check out my Instagram.
So is it like freestyle ideas, or you have like a concept of where you're going? Like, you know how some people, they want to draw a building, so just draw it, or you just like just kind of start from somewhere and then just make it from there.
Dude, I don't know how it is for you when you make music, but I have to be inspired. Like if I try and force something, it's just
Oh,
it
I'm
just
the
turns
same
out
way,
like,
fam.
It
I'm with
turns
you.
out like crap. Like
Yeah.
but for art, if I'm like just feeling a certain type of way, I have to do something. Anytime I feel the most of any emotion that's like heavy or like really happy or like, man, I'm feeling really proud of my family right now. Like I just have this moment and I want to put it visually out there. So
Seems
yeah.
like you pull from positivity
Yeah.
instead of sadness, which most artists do.
Well, I'll be honest, like I've done a little bit of both, like with writing, and I think for me, it's been very therapeutic, and not everybody has like the resources to like go to like a therapist, or like they might not even have someone that they're connected to that they could talk to. So like for me, it's like you always have yourself and you have your expression. So that's why like I feel like art and music and like sculpting in the future and stuff like. And building things, like expression is everything. Like I've always been passionate about that because it's good for you.
You know, you just get you a little one of the whiteboards and just add that to your YouTube channel. Those girls, they'll watch that. They'll watch it.
You should see what people are watching, and they're getting millions and millions of views. And I'm like,
Oh, we just watched like the simulation thing, or I just saw something like this fireman thing. It was just like
yeah.
I
Little
don't-
boy watching another person play a simulation of a game. He's not playing the game. He's just watching another person's simulation of playing the simulation game.
And people are watching him.
Yeah.
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 It's
Some people
like-
watch reactions of people watching stuff.
Subscribers.
Well, we do that.
I get hooked
Ooh,
into it
I
too.
would-
We watch
on it,
people
but like-
reacting to TikToks.
But we don't watch people
Yeah.
reacting to people reacting to watching
We
TikTok.
probably have.
Inception.
Not I.
Yeah,
the
dude.
chickens. Not
That was
I.
Like I love seeing people like that, like especially content creators that I've seen for a while now reacting to certain stuff that I'm interested in. Because if I react to it the same way, I want to relate to the person that's reacting to what I react to. Do we have the same things? Do we like? Okay, I'm not just crazy for thinking this is funny or thinking this is weird or thinking this person thinks it too. I think people's relatability is what draws people to watching those views so much. So if you find things that are relatable to the audience, to your feelings about it and stuff like that, I think that's what generates those views. I think that's what generates that traffic.
I freaking hope so when I start it. But like, okay, so like just side note. So because we brought up like watching a simulation of whatever reaction to reaction, like isn't this almost the same thing as like people watching in a way? Like, haven't you ever just gone out somewhere and you're like, you just watch, you know, like what
Nah.
do you-
Nah, fam.
No, why
Nah.
not?
I just
We got curfew. Get in the house. Pop.
I just never crossed my mind. I'm not. No.
Well, I'm not saying I just for the reason why other people might be doing that, because can't go people watch all the time.
So does that? But okay, question is that something that inspires your art? Let's say if you did that, would that be something like you saw a father with his son? Would that be something that would inspire you or something like that? Like a lot of artists do things like that, especially people that draw or even recording artists. They find other ways to motivate them. Some people come out with the book and they just be in random places and draw what they see.
People watch birds.
I've done that before.
You know,
sometimes it's just like you're taking a photograph in time, like sketching. Yeah, I've done that before.
Like I've realized I work my best on creative when I'm either collaborating with someone else or if I'm just not. I can't do any music for like 2-3 weeks. Yeah. Nothing related to it. Yeah. And then I'll come back and then I'll have a fresh idea because I lived life for a little bit. Yeah. As opposed to just you just run out of stuff to say. You know.
Oh yeah. That'd be like forcing it. Then you're like supercharged when you come back. That's kind of like why I'm kind of grateful for like quarantine and stuff with work right now. Like I feel like as soon as I get back, like even when I came back for just a match like in the middle of it, I just felt like the supercharge, like put me out there, like let's go. You know, I think it like reignites passion in a way.
We're gonna go into talking about overcoming adversities and hardships. We're gonna go with Indi on this one.
They already said it.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it.
You can call me Sam.
I only called you Sam.
We can call you Sam.
She called me Sam. It's alright. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go with Indi on this one. Overcoming hardships. What are like some of the biggest hardships? Yeah, I want to talk to Indi. Biggest hardships. Some of the roadblocks you had to overcome getting into where you are now. Like some times when you felt like you were at a low point and getting out of that.
I can't say I've had a lot of adversity, honestly. But I think when I started my wrestling journey, it kind of started because I was going to university and I was really unhappy. So I finished that first year of university and like I remember at the end I just like cried because I was so unhappy. And then I dropped out of university and I signed up for wrestling school straight away. So then that's kind of like what like started my journey, I guess. And then, you know.
What were you unhappy about?
I just didn't want to study. I was just too passionate about wrestling, and if I've
never seen that image.
That's
before.
why she was unhappy.
No, that's
you're different.
Wow.
That's when I started. That was like my first gear. That was like when I started wrestling, and I was like, I'll be this colorful person, and like that wasn't me at all.
Oh,
but I was happy there because
the hand.
Somebody.
I thought it was a pretty cool photo shoot. I was like, smoke machine. Yeah. Never had that before. But I guess the biggest thing that I went through was, I guess, moving overseas and like having to leave my family and stuff at the age of 22 and like trying to learn how to like live a life in another country without my mum.
No support.
She did everything for me, so I had to learn to like do the laundry. Yeah. She taught me how to use the laundry machine.
She's still in the process.
The colors don't go in there.
I just didn't know how to turn it on.
Or the dishwasher.
No, I didn't. What? That's a lie.
But you know how to do a photo shoot in Debo's pigeon coop.
Can we take that off?
Yep. Hey.
That's all right.
Now we're Indi. All right. Simone, what about yourself? Oh, I would say the injury. Injury would be a big one. What was like going through your mind on that?
Which one?
The one that when I dislocated this knee. That was probably the hardest thing that I had gone through at the time, because I think what made it so hard is I was so, like, I had been training, I was so happy, and I felt like I was progressing so well, and then that came out of nowhere, and obviously with wrestling comes injuries. That's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
But I think something that really got me was, and it's an interesting thing, was not being able to walk, like physically not actually being able to have that independence to go see my friends, to walk, like to drive. I never take any of that for granted now, because when that, it's such a minor thing, but I think when that gets taken from you, you become very, very isolated. So the knee injury was very, very hard, and there's stuff from that I still struggle with today, and obviously there's stuff that I still struggle with today. But
what were some things that helped you get out of that? Or at least like progress you to.
I really think that not going to New York was a big thing, and like staying here where I was happy, and then just having patience, which I'm not a patient person, so it was hard, but like having patience to like finally start walking again. And then I had a big knee brace for like 3 weeks, and then I finally got that off the day before my birthday, so like looking forward to that. And then like
so you're looking forward to small short
things. But it was
okay.
It was difficult because it like initially I had been told that my injury was not as bad as it turned out to be. So like doing physical therapy for X amount of months, and then being told, okay, but what you did was wrong, so then you have to go back and do more. And then I was supposed to get orthotics for my shoes, which took 4 months. They were never made. So like doing that, and just one thing after another. So it dragged on for a long time, but it taught me to be patient, and just knowing that like there's always going to be ups and downs. But having a good support system really helped, and honestly, having Jess really, really helped. You're welcome.
Yeah, I was honestly like super impressed with you. Like I think a lot of people forget your age, and like I thought how you handled it was like really graceful. Just kind of knowing that you're gonna get through this and it's gonna be okay, and there's a lot of awesome things ahead of you. So yeah.
Thank you.
I always believe Simone's beyond her years.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I always thought that. We all here.
Absolutely.
We talk about that all the time.
Absolutely.
Jessi, what about yourself? Hardships that you had to get through, just like things you had to overcome, like because we always bring this up to guests like that, whoever that's comfortable talking about it, because there's probably somebody watching at home or subscribed to the podcast that are going through the same things, and the way y'all got out of it is some way that could help someone else get out of the same thing that they're going through. So this is why we discuss these kind of things.
So I mentioned him earlier. His name was James Johnson. So after I got recruited, he was like a business manager and like coach and like performance mentor. And well, it's unfortunate he passed away, but he did while like still with my time here, and I didn't realize how much I relied on him, just for a lot of different kinds of support. And I think having also kind of being like a younger sibling and having an older sister my whole life, I kind of realized in myself after his passing and stuff, like how much I rely on other people to like kind of be like there for me and kind of like the safety net. So I think since then and like every day growing with like new experiences, like even though it's unfortunate that he passed, like it's a part of life, and I'm finding like my own like new confidence. So it's been a journey. Yeah.
All right. I think it's time we turn this over to Teasy Table over here.
Yeah, okay. So,
time to shine.
So,
in the game.
Okay. So, obviously, you know, music is something near and dear to my heart. And, Jessi, so I heard through a grapevine that, about you and this Outkast fandom. And we gonna tell you thought I was gonna say something else. Look at you. Nah, see.
What did you say?
Outkast.
Outcast.
She was like,
back in
that wasn't it. No, so
you're gonna ask me something
I got big like,
which
no.
we will never know.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
Oh no! Oh
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
I ain't gonna do that.
It's me.
Okay, so let's talk about you being
Beast fat.
an Outkast fan. So when I heard you was a fan of Shutterbug, I was like, okay, you got me. You cool.
I saw him perform that live.
Who, Big Boy?
Yes, dude, he's awesome. Sorry, go ahead.
So, okay, let's lead that into that question then.
Okay.
So, what are some of the best concerts you've been to?
His was probably one of my favorite ones. So, man, it's hard to, like, I've been to a lot. So, I grew up mostly in Austin, Texas, where live music is everywhere. And that's where I saw Big Boy. That album came out, and, like, now I probably seem like a crappy fan because I don't remember the name of the album. Can you help me?
So Lucius Left Foot.
Yes.
So, Chico Dusty.
Yes. I had listened to his whole album beforehand, and the group of friends that I went with, I forced them to show up to like the line like 2 hours beforehand when people finally started trickling in, like maybe 20 minutes, like 20 minutes before the show was starting. So, I mean, but it turned out we got like we were right in the front of everything, and I just really enjoyed myself with that one. I think from that particular album, I love it's track 5. General Patton. I'm terrible with song names.
I got you. But if it comes on, you know what it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I had that
One.
CD
Me too.
tucked in the side of the compartment of the car.
There it
I ain't gonna lie, I burned it
I
first.
will jam
Oh! Oh!
But I bought it. I did buy it.
I
that.
bought
Yeah.
it.
What was
I
your
bought that
favorite
thing.
song on that album?
What's that?
What was your favorite song on
Be
that?
Still.
Oh,
Okay.
that was, that one. There was
Track
something.
10.
Was something got to give on there with Mary J. Blige? Is that on that
Track
one?
10.
Was the one with something's got to give with Mary J. Blige on that one?
I don't think that one. Not that one.
Not that one.
That was the second.
No, but I liked
Shutterbug was a classic.
Shutterbug was. I first heard it on Madden.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
I first heard it on Madden.
Yep. See, y'all, none of y'all play video games.
No.
Except for. I don't think playing Sims counts.
And Animal
It
Crossing.
does.
And then with the Animal Crossing.
I'll take it.
And halfway trying to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a beautifully done game. But
Very beautiful, but it's
can't get into it.
super tedious.
Yeah, yeah.
Super tedious.
I just like ride the horse around in circles.
But you like horses.
As far as it goes.
This makes
So
sense.
what music are you currently listening to right now? From the last time we spoke live, what is the music you're listening to right now?
Well, I'm wearing a Johnny Cash shirt that I chose for today. My music taste. Sorry, I had a brain fart. My music taste is always like all over the place, but
Yep.
what am I listening to?
Lady Gaga's new album.
Yes.
Oh, she got an album out? I thought it was just a single. What?
No, new
No,
album.
she released an album. She is.
Oh, I gotta listen to that.
She's my favorite artist of all time.
Lady Gaga? The guy?
Yes.
What? She's got like really good range. Like I appreciate that, and she
She's
can
the
perform her butt off. Like
Yeah.
she's.
I was
awesome.
like flipping through channels one time. It was like a long time ago, and her concert was on, and I just like couldn't like. Now I wasn't like all up on like Lady Gaga, but it for some reason whatever she was doing on screen just
Couldn't
stopped
turn it
me.
off?
I couldn't turn it off,
Yeah.
and I was like, and that's when you know you got something special with an artist. I
Yeah.
just like. And I
It's
put
like
the
not
remote
only
down.
a
I was
good
like,
artist, but a good performer.
yeah, and then we don't. Yep. See, I would stop and watch this. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna watch
You're
this.
gonna watch it.
And like now seeing like how she performs and everything she can do, it makes me like even more intrigued by her. And I wish we had like more artists like this.
So the lost art, dude.
Very lost art to
lost
find people
art,
like
It's
dude.
like
this.
she's larger than life.
Yes, and I miss that.
And like
Yeah.
that's what brought me into wrestling when I first watched it, because like all the characters were larger than life.
You
so
feel
like
like
that's
they
kind of
can't
what you
touch 'em.
saw, like when you
Yeah.
saw her perform. It's like she's not
And
human.
this is something I miss about like celebrity and star power people. Like there's some things like I don't know what she's eating for breakfast. I don't know what her favorite shoe is. I don't know what's her favorite store. There's a lot of things about her I don't know because I don't see it on her social media. I don't see like her opinions on this. I don't see her opinions on that. I don't see like her talking to like regular people. When she talks or she speaks, it's a long big interview with a really big person, a personality or a big news network expressing something, or she's doing a red carpet or something like that. So her appearance is valuable. Her word is valuable. Her time of being out to the public is very valuable. And that's what I appreciate about her. And I wish there were more artists like that. Right now, I think I'm hearing too much chatter in the world of celebrity. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has to say something. And everybody has but it's a lot of just noise. And it's not important. Sometimes it is. Like when Jay-Z speaks, it's hitting hard.
Beyonce speaks.
When Dr. Dre speaks out about something, I gotta hear this because he doesn't really speak out often. When she speaks up about something, it's like, I gotta hear what she's gonna say. And that brings the urgency to hear it.
I think that maybe so much of that is due to just like the instant gratification, whether it's just like scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through Instagram, like really, especially like I think the biggest thing when it comes to instant gratification and like something being there and then just going away is TikTok. Like just the amount of instant gratification that people get off of that.
Yep.
And I think like the celebrities that come off of that or celebrities that come off of YouTube, I think because that is like really intimate and they always have something to say.
Yeah.
I think that I see what you mean.
Yeah.
By that.
I just think, like, just because you have something to say doesn't mean it needs to be said. Or at that time. Or just, like, I don't, like, say whatever. What was a trend that was happening recently? That's, like, not necessarily a big important one, but...
Something like somebody said something? Might have came out and said something?
Just something like... I'm trying to think. I'm trying to word it or figure out a way to say it. Anyway, moving on. I just don't think... I think when polarizing figures, whether it be in music, sports, wrestling, comedy, acting, whatever it is, I think there's a responsibility with limiting how much of what you're saying is put out. I think you need to limit that because when it's time to actually say something, that's when people are going to be more coherent to hear it and listen to it, rather than always speaking about whatever and just putting out a tweet saying, "Man, bacon is tough."
It's almost like you're conditioning the people reading to like just, hey, read this noise, you know?
Yes.
And it's like if maybe you have something really important to say and they see it's you, but you always say...
But you all, like, how can I take this seriously now?
It's such like a weird thing because I think you want to be authentic on social media, so like even maybe like sharing those short sentences are like I'm just saying on the flip side, like, okay, like me as like a personality or whatever on social media, like if I just want to share like, hey, look at this painting I made, or I love sushi, like it's not like the weight of the world, like this really big morally like huge message, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of like this balance, like maybe not to do it so much. Like,
but even if you post like, hey, look at this painting I made, hopefully it inspires other people to paint and do more art. Like, oh, she's doing something constructive with her time, and you're a big influence on my life. I'm gonna do something big constructive with my time. But if you just say, I like sushi too. Moving on.
Yeah.
It's
like,
weird.
what are we doing? Like I said, I feel like we have a responsibility with that.
I think that also depends on like I think that depends on maybe the platform that person is trying to have. I feel like with up and coming stars on like digital stars, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, what have you, I think that they're trying to have a much more like, I don't want to say like intimate connection, but I think because of what I said, like instant gratification, I think that they have to constantly keep feeding their fans something, and that's the only way that they can feel connected to them. Exactly, but I think with someone as established as her, or like Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, whatever, it's a bit there. I feel like the connection that they made with their fans was also in a much different time where there wasn't that much of an instant gratification thing.
But they still have to gain new fans.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's what it is, like just depending on your platform.
You discuss like stuff. You follow a lot of like hip hop artists and stuff on social media,
right?
And like when they like a David Banner, or
that's my guy, right?
Yeah, or freaking Killer Mike. When he speaks, it's powerful, and you tend to listen, and you grasp it, and it kind of sticks with you for a while.
Absolutely.
Whether it's social media or not, when he has speak on like Royce 5'9" always be talking about. This is just our culture, what we follow in our bubble.
The reason why they're the more activists and stuff like that speak on things. They're hip hop artists, but they're also very active in stuff that's going on with the community, especially stuff that's going on right now, things of that nature. The thing I like about them is they're active, but they always have a point in what they're saying, and then they're gone. So you don't see them outside of the podcast, or they'll go on IG and do a video and then comment, and then, they'll post every couple days, but it's more pointed. There's a point to what they're doing. So I believe that whatever role that you're taking, like let's say you're take more of the activist role, you might have to be a little bit more active in what you say and how often you are. Not saying you have to respond to fans and everything, but your message, you probably have to be slightly more active than someone who makes music and then just goes back to the background, if you're going more the activist route. But that's why I like the Royces and the David Banners, because they post a couple times a week, they say their points, and then they're gone.
So imagine what would Johnny Cash be doing if he had a social media?
Yeah, that's a good point.
See what I mean?
I don't know if he would be on it.
That's what
He would definitely be on it, but he wouldn't be controlling it.
Right.
But if something was said on his social media, what would be said?
It would be very impactful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And or like what would Prince be saying if he had a social media?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney, like these people that like in the 90s or early 2000s that really impacted us. Like I feel like we need to bring that type of social awareness and responsibility back a little bit, because sometimes it's just like they're just posting emojis like a fart emoji. I don't even know if that's the thing. I'm gonna say it though. I'm making whatever. But you see the point I'm making though. Like, who do you follow in music? Who's your influences?
I'm like her. I kind of like have a broad range of people.
MGK.
Don't
High School Musical.
love High School Musical.
I don't want to hear what Zac Efron has to say. I really don't. But so I don't even know where I was going with it.
She said no. She said MGK. You was gone. You said MGK. You was done.
I said to her, don't.
I'm like, turn the mic down.
I know, but you know what's crazy? It's like, you know what's crazy? It was almost like waiting for that rap verse from Jessi I've been waiting on for so long.
I don't have any today.
You're rapping?
I don't have any
You
today.
didn't tell me.
I'm ready. I write poetry. You know this. Now I'm trying to fit it in
But now you're a
fit
rapper?
it in the pocket, as I've been learning.
Yeah, she learned what pocket means.
Like in pocket?
Yeah, in pocket. Anyway,
yes.
Yeah.
I'll be on one of the tracks.
Wheels are churning.
Don't worry.
We'll bring that back.
You just gotta tell me what it's about, and then we'll figure it out.
I've seen her freestyle.
I'll express myself.
I didn't know.
Legit.
Yeah, so
Cool.
at Christmas, I don't want to talk about it. Never mind.
Walkman?
No, not that one. No. If I tell this story, I'll have to tell it to completion, and I don't want it to say the end.
fine.
So
What are you two whispering about?
next time.
Strategizing.
It's my show.
Team strategizing. Nothing about.
You just gotta wait till after the warm up, okay? We gotta warm up first. Like
You usually have to. I get it.
Like if we're gonna do this here, I gotta warm up first, and then we'll do it. But not right now.
Okay.
Next time.
Okay. Cool. You said so. You'll do it.
Yeah.
Cool. We good. We good then. They cool, man. We cool, man. You cool with me, man.
What did I just do?
You cool, man.
Movies. You're a comedy person.
I like comedy, but let's talk about scary movies.
Oh, you know the weight of my heart.
Yeah. What are some new ones since Midsummer? Because Midsummer was the rave last time.
Oh, what about Parasite?
Parasite. Is that really a horror though?
No,
It was a thriller.
Parasite made me
Thriller.
think. I was like,
Psychological thriller?
Yeah. Suspense.
yeah.
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 That was a great movie.
That was great.
I like Parasite.
Dude, when he's like in the stairway, like
That
right
was the
there,
horror point.
Oof, that was
Yep.
too much.
I loved it.
Parasite was
I was like,
great.
more?
I would be terrified if I saw that.
I feel like we haven't, like, since Miss Coronavirus has been making her world tour, I feel like we haven't seen movies, gone to movie theaters. I feel like it's been ages.
Invisible Man was like the last horror.
I feel like I haven't seen a
Thriller.
new horror movie that's come out recently.
That's like newest.
Yo, all you dudes out there, man. You got to come up with a new game, bro. Movie theater's about to be passe, man. You got
I'm about to start making movies with my phone, bro.
Okay, so what I want to know is like why you guys like scary or horror films, because for me, I'm the kind of person who will psych myself out afterwards, and it'll continue to haunt me like for days, which is why I cannot.
What movie did that for you?
Wolf Creek. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
What did that for me? It's a horror movie that's done that for me. Oh, I can't ask Jess and it'll...
What about Conjuring?
Yeah, that's what I was
I
going to
love
say.
The
Like,
Conjuring.
I will not get an armoire now because of the one that was in the movie, and then like the demons up there, like, I'm ready to get you.
Yep.
And I'm just like, no. And every time I look into a dark corner now, I can't look into a dark corner.
Get
Like, I
that.
just need flashlight out.
I just watched Platform. The Platform.
I think we
is that
tried
on
to
Netflix?
watch
That's
I
on
gotta
Netflix,
watch that. You
right?
told me about that, bro. I gotta check that
breakdown.
out. Bro. I gotta check that out, my guy.
Life imitating art.
It's the new
art
Netflix
imitating
one. It's the
life.
foreign film, but it's on it's on Netflix now. The platform. Yeah, it's going down. It's weird, but it's like ooh. The concept of it, I don't want to break it short, y'all, but
Okay.
Check it out.
I feel like we started it, but it wasn't interesting.
No, I think...
bam, Platform. Check it out. There's a good message with this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like Parasite, it kind of has the same message.
Okay.
So definitely check that out. And like what I've been into is like watching like some movie like this has a thought piece with it, and then watching the YouTube reviews and breakdowns and ending it. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, I like that. So this is another one that's going to deep dive into it. I think it's about time we get into our roast session. Y'all think?
A roast session?
We roast session.
Why didn't we do this last time?
Because we got a monitor now. We can look at things to roast.
Oh, we're not roasting each other. Okay.
Boy, look at them all. I wouldn't do that. Oh, boy, look at them all. So, y'all seen any bad fashion or hairstyles from any celebrities as of recent memory?
Lonnie Walker from the Spurs.
Aside from
Lonnie Walker from the Spurs got the worst hair in basketball. You don't know this guy, I guarantee you.
Okay.
But when you see this hair, it's... Yeah, Lonnie Walker got the worst hair.
Yeah, I'm a Spurs fan. God bless him.
Yes, that's your boy. Y'all first pick in the draft. Lonnie Walker and at the time it was Elfrid Payton.
He cut his hair finally.
Yeah, he did. So I can't get
Why
him.
is the hair so bad?
You about to
find out.
You about to see why the hair is so bad.
His draft picture.
It was a hat pull.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bad hairstyles.
I was like, we drafted this,
and he's been hurt since.
Yeah.
He's
He's been potential for 5 years. Look at that boy. Get all the broads.
Look at that thing.
Look at get all those chicks.
It
with
looks
that,
like a shoe.
A boot.
Yeah, like a boot.
Look at that thing. Do you have the hat?
Yeah.
But so he got drafted. This was like 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
3 seasons ago.
Yep.
Hair's still bad. Hasn't gotten better.
Oh,
Oh,
He didn't.
boy, look at that
I
boy.
think you're gonna wear a bun.
Boy.
He is definitely getting noticed. Like, they will see me.
This dude curse our franchise.
Wait,
been the
so
same.
Who got worse hair, him or Tim Duncan?
Oh, Tim Duncan. Hi.
Tim Duncan got
Okay.
really
What,
bad
so
hair.
you
on the same team.
So you retire and get like 40 and then you want dreads? Like you see Tim Duncan with dreads?
You ain't seen that?
Bro,
Oh.
no, he look like a fake roster dog. It don't even make sense, bro. He go pull it out like he's an assistant coach for the Spurs now with Pop. So you just be sitting on the bench, he's all like non-energetic, he's just like
It's like the solution to like what I do to like fixing bad plumbing. Like, that's what I got. Oh,
look at that.
John Wick. Like,
he's like a wig.
Look at that, man. My dog grew dreads for no reason. It wasn't even wasn't spiritual. It was nothing. My dog just grew them. He was like, well.
That look like Leo in 20 years.
Oh no.
He looked
Looking
like
that.
yeah. Oh no, what is? He looked like. Oh man, he looked like what the character Will Smith could do in Pursuit of Happiness to do if he had dreads.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's I Am Legend and John
This
Wick
dog.
mixed
Who
together.
else got bad hair that you can think of?
A commandor.
Bad fashion too.
Oh.
I don't know.
Sam, I think I told you about this a long time ago. CeeLo on the red carpet. One of the craziest, scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
I kind of like that though. Like, I think
See, you like that, right?
I think that's cool. Like, he's just doing his thing and what he wants.
Yeah,
And,
I
can-
like when people do that. Because I'm like, that's their thing.
Yeah.
When
I don't.
And they
I
were
don't,
like,
what statement is that?
I don't
making?
know what we're talking about.
I do what I want.
But like bad
See
fashion.
Can
what
we
we're
get a
talking
picture?
about. CeeLo on the red carpet. One of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, it looks like he belongs in like Star Trek or
Oh, that's a no for me, dog.
He looked like the award being accepted.
He does.
Or like
Right,
gold
like-
Thanos.
Here's CeeLo Green.
Look like me when I had the bald head at the end.
Remember when you got a haircut and then you had that?
It's
nice
gone
bun
now.
in
I
the
covered
back of your
it.
head?
I'm covering that now. That's gone. I got my locks in. I'm out. I'm out the game with that.
Bruh.
I kind of like it. I feel like
He looked like a
what's that?
putty that Rita Repulsa had to grow in Power Rangers.
He looks like the gold version of the four.
Why is he doing
Fanatic
that
Four,
pose?
Fantastic Four guy.
Fanatic
If he was
Four.
made of gold, what's that guy's name? What?
Gold member?
No.
Oh, wait.
Like he's made of rocks.
The
on
rock
Oh,
guy?
thing.
Yeah,
The thing.
But if he were
She like the
gold.
thing from Fantastic Four.
Look at it. It's just,
Like you about to take off, like blast off up in this piece.
He doesn't look like he's
God
in a
bless.
good mood.
He like
What is this
Thanos.
expression?
Yeah, that's what I said. Like gold Thanos.
How do you say? Where do you like? Who do you talk to get this made? Who do you go to?
Don't they have like their
Just
own
when
stylist?
you just got money to
Well, but who
spend.
does the stylist go to?
Who do you go to?
The stylist.
You go to Steve
They
Spielberg.
don't build
Like, I
it.
wonder if it was his idea. Or
Oh, that's
Oh,
definitely
must have
that's
been.
yeah, that's his.
Hey, so I can't do a split screen, but just to show you how close that is to the thing, here's the thing.
Oh,
Yup.
yeah.
See it?
Yup.
Thanks, dude.
Oh.
See?
Yup.
Ah. I mean,
He like an ashy version of CeeLo.
now is this something that he had made, or like he just saw at the costume
I don't
store?
think you can buy it.
No.
Yo.
Because then other
He been in
people
the
would have
sun
it,
for
right?
too long.
This much is
He's
true.
dry
Other
out,
people would post it
turn
after.
into
Yeah. Look, I had the same costume.
Crispy.
Oh, okay, so
Stop.
CeeLo is regular, and then this is under this light for another hour, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. This is CeeLo before the money. He evolved into that.
I got you. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for like Pokemon, he was the Moon Rock. Evolved into this. Well, it's about time we close this up because we've been running for a while, man. Thank y'all for coming on
Thank
to the
you.
Swerve City
Ooh, look at
Podcast.
that.
Yeah.
Thank
Look
you.
at this.
Thank you.
Man,
Yay.
yeah. If there's anything y'all want to plug, yeah.
Oh,
get
start
it
at
done.
that end.
She's like,
I
Oh,
don't
do you
have
want me to
any.
plug my socials?
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh,
Plug
smart.
Instagram, Indi Hartwell. Twitter, Indi_Hartwell. That's it.
forgot.
You'll find everything on there, right?
Essentially, I hope so. It's yours.
Just follow me and you'll see.
Simone G. Johnson on Instagram and Twitter. And remember to vote in November.
I can't.
Aside from Sam, remember to vote in November.
Oh.
If
Retweet
If you
it.
can.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
retweet
I'll
it.
encourage
Spread
Sam will
spread
encourage
awareness.
We see you.
That helps.
We see you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Queen. I appreciate you.
Nice, yeah. No, I like that. Vote. Vote, vote, vote.
That's
and
it,
Twitter is at Jessi Kamea WWE, and same thing for Instagram.
And the mixtape.
In the future.
Coming to Spotify.
Under Swerve City Records. Executive produced by Swerve City itself.
Thanks.
And as always, be confident in everything you do,
Wash your
or
ass.
you're going to get a pop-pop.
We did it!